Do you ever find yourself pausing to squint a bit at the fine print on a medication bottle? Or perhaps notice a moment of frustration when you can't immediately recall where you set down your glasses or car keys? Does this sound familiar to you in your daily life? You are absolutely not alone, our eyes and our brain. The two systems that shape our perception of the world naturally undergo changes as we age, and sometimes it truly feels like they are testing our focus and patience simultaneously. The realities of modern life: constant screen exposure, persistent stress, and subtle but chronic gaps in our diet's nutrient profile can quietly contribute to the cumulative wear and tear on both our memory and our vision. But here is the genuinely encouraging clinical message I want to share with you. Nature has already provided us with small yet incredibly powerful tools to proactively defend against this process. Welcome to my channel, where we combine proven scientific knowledge with thoughtful, compassionate care to protect your sight and strengthen your mind's function. Today, we are going to carefully uncover 4 of the very best seeds you can incorporate into your diet to naturally improve your eyesight and reliably boost your cognitive function. These are not intended as miracle cures, but rather as reliable daily allies that can genuinely support and transform your ability to focus, maintain clarity of thought, and even positively impact your mood. So please grab a cup of tea, settle in comfortably, and let's start the journey of nourishing your vision and memory from the inside out, using real, accessible foods that truly make a difference in your long-term health. 1. Pumpkin seeds, the zinc and magnesium dynamo. Let's begin our discussion with what I call the quiet powerhouse of the autumn harvest pumpkin seeds. Please do not let their unassuming size mislead you. They are fundamentally loaded with essential minerals that your eyes and brain simply cannot function optimally without. Have you ever wondered what exactly those little green seeds do when you eat them? They might just be one of the most underrated nutrient-dense foods available for improving eyesight naturally, and serve as a hidden gem for enhancing both your diet and your memory. From a physiological standpoint, pumpkin seeds are exceptionally rich in zinc, magnesium, and iron. 3 fundamental minerals that quietly ensure your entire body's systems run smoothly. Consider zinc, for instance. It is highly concentrated right in your retina, the light-sensitive layer at the back of the eye that provides us with clear, detailed vision. Zinc is absolutely crucial because it powers the enzymes responsible for regenerating visual pigments, which are the specialized molecules that allow your eyes to effectively adapt when moving from bright light to darkness. Without adequate zinc, that troublesome night blindness some people experience as they age can unfortunately begin to creep in. Next, there is magnesium, which acts as a calm and steady friend to your brain. It is vital for supporting what we refer to as brain plasticity, the incredible lifelong ability of your brain to learn new things, solidify memories, and form new healthy neural connections. Magnesium also helps regulate GABA, a key inhibitory neurotransmitter that keeps your nervous system feeling relaxed, calm, and balanced. And finally, the touch of iron they provide is necessary to effectively deliver oxygen to both your brain and your eyes, ensuring they have the steady, reliable energy required to stay sharp and focused throughout the day. For your eyes specifically, the benefits of zinc truly shine through. Low systemic zinc levels have been directly correlated with conditions like night blindness and even the early formation of cataracts. You can think of zinc as the essential courier service that helps vitamin A travel efficiently from your liver to your retina, where it is used to produce melanin, a natural protective pigment that shields your eyes from cumulative damage, including UV exposure. Clinical studies have consistently demonstrated that people who maintain adequate zinc intake are statistically less likely to develop age-related macular degeneration (AMD), which is a common and serious cause of vision loss. Moreover, magnesium assists your eye muscles in maintaining relaxation and significantly improves blood flow to those incredibly delicate ocular tissues, helping to preserve the clarity of your lens and the overall health of your macula. So if you are actively searching for powerful foods to improve eyesight, this humble little seed has certainly earned a top spot on any list. Now let's turn to your brain health. Zinc and magnesium together form a remarkable synergistic duo for optimal cognitive function. Magnesium enhances critical processes like learning and memory consolidation, while zinc precisely fine-tunes synaptic transmission, the rapid, efficient communication between your brain cells that allows thoughts, focus, and memory recall to flow smoothly. When the supply of either of these critical minerals is low, you may unfortunately notice symptoms like persistent foggy thinking, mental fatigue, or increased irritability. In fact, research published in the Nutrients Journal in 2021 indicated that magnesium supplementation helped to improve sleep quality, attention span, and emotional balance in older adults. And when your brain is able to rest and recover well, your vision often benefits too, because your eyes rely on that exact same calm, oxygen-rich circulatory supply. So what is the best way to incorporate them? Keep it simple. Eat them raw or lightly roasted, but make sure to avoid any heavily salted varieties to manage your sodium intake. You can easily mix them into a daily trail mix. Add a spoonful to your morning smoothie, or blend them into a simple creamy seed butter. I also often recommend sprinkling them generously over your soups or salads for a subtle crunch and a powerful mineral boost. Pumpkin seeds offer a valuable reminder that true strength often resides in nutritional simplicity. They calm your nervous system, sharpen your focus, and help your eyes stay steady. Can you commit to adding this small, quiet confidence booster to your routine? 2. Sunflower seeds. The antioxidant-rich defender. Few foods have the power to evoke a smile just by their name, and sunflower seeds are certainly one of them. They often bring back nostalgic memories of simple sunny times, whether it's at picnics or baseball games. But moving past the nostalgia, these tiny crunchy kernels are highly nutrient-dense protectors for both your visual and memory systems. Packed with vitamin E and zinc, they quietly and consistently defend your vision and cognitive health against the chronic effects of time and accumulated stress, working to preserve both the clarity in your eyes and the sharpness in your mind. Have you ever considered how a tiny seed can offer such extensive internal protection? Let's look at the science behind this widely available seed. Vitamin E is a critical fat-soluble antioxidant that specializes in shielding the delicate fatty membranes in your eyes and brain from lipid peroxidation, a destructive process where free radicals actively attack and damage healthy cell structures. Since both the retina and the brain are uniquely rich in essential fatty acids, vitamin E plays an absolutely frontline role in protecting them from this chronic oxidative harm. In parallel, zinc acts as a crucial transporter for vitamin A, carrying it from your liver to the retina, where it is vital for forming melanin, the protective pigment that guards your eyes against light-induced damage. Together, this combination of nutrients makes sunflower seeds an extremely powerful natural defense system for your entire visual and cognitive apparatus. According to the groundbreaking age-related eye disease study, AREDs, a combination of vitamin E, zinc, and other antioxidants was scientifically shown to slow the progression of age-related macular degeneration (AMD), a leading cause of vision loss in adults over 50. Now let's translate this science into your eye's daily performance. Every time you open your eyes, your retina is exposed to both oxygen and light, two elements that generate constant low-grade oxidative stress. Vitamin E steps in to effectively neutralize that stress, protecting the fragile photoreceptor cells that are vital for detecting color and light. Meanwhile, zinc plays a silent but absolutely essential role in producing rhodopsin, the molecule that allows your eyes to see clearly when light is dim. Without enough zinc, your night vision can seriously falter, and your eyes may also tire more quickly during the day. When combined with other essential antioxidants like vitamin C and beta-carotene, The vitamin E and zinc found in sunflower seeds have been shown to reduce the risk of both cataracts and macular degeneration, two of the most common vision concerns as we gracefully age. Think of sunflower seeds as your readily accessible portable defense against the effects of time, helping your eyes remain clear and resilient for years to come. But their remarkable benefits extend beyond vision. They reach deep into your brain as well. Your brain is composed of about 60% fat, and like your eyes, it is highly susceptible to oxidative damage. Vitamin E helps protect your neurons, your brain's vital communication lines, from this cumulative decay, maintaining the integrity of their cell membranes. Studies have found that people who maintain adequate vitamin E levels often demonstrate better memory recall and experience slower overall cognitive decline as they age. Simultaneously, zinc supports efficient neurotransmitter function, which directly aids in memory formation, focus, and emotional balance. It is particularly important for regulating chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, which profoundly influence mood stability and mental energy. In essence, sunflower seeds nourish not only your sharp thoughts, but also your sense of calm and mental clarity. So how can you easily integrate them into your day? Simply snack on roasted unsalted sunflower seeds for a satisfying crunch. Sprinkle them generously over salads, stir-fries, or soups, or blend them into homemade granola for a nourishing on-the-go treat. 3. Flax seeds, the lignan-rich protector. Next up is the universally humble flaxseed. This remarkable plant has been cultivated for over 6,000 years and was even prized by the ancient Egyptians for its perceived healing properties. Today, modern medical science has finally caught up with this tradition, confirming that flax seeds are one of the richest plant-based sources of omega-3s and potent antioxidants on the planet. As tiny as they are, they carry a world of deep nourishment for your eyes, your brain, and your entire body's vitality. What exactly is the science behind this golden seed? Flax seeds are loaded with alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that your body can convert into the more familiar DHA and EPA, the same essential fats commonly found in fish oil. These converted fats are absolutely critical for building and maintaining healthy, flexible cell membranes, especially in the retina and the brain's neural tissue. Flax seeds also contain lignans, powerful antioxidants with mild phytoestrogenic properties that help neutralize harmful free radicals and support essential hormonal balance, a factor that becomes particularly important as we age. Finally, flax seeds supply vitamin E, a vital fat-soluble antioxidant that adds another layer of protection to both brain and eye tissues against oxidative stress. Recent clinical investigations have even shown that supplementation with flax seed oil can help significantly reduce the symptoms of dry eye syndrome, working to support tear film stability and crucial ocular hydration, a true blessing for anyone who spends long hours in front of screens or in dry, low-humidity environments. Let's focus more closely on flax seeds' benefits for your eyes. If your eyes frequently feel dry, gritty, or easily fatigued, flaxseed may be one of the most soothing natural remedies you can add to your daily diet. The ALA omega-3s actively help to improve microcirculation, the fine, delicate network of blood vessels that nourishes your retina. Better, smoother circulation means more reliable oxygen and nutrient delivery to the cells responsible for capturing light and color. Meanwhile, the lignans work as gentle systemic antioxidants, shielding your eyes from oxidative stress, which is one of the main culprits implicated in age-related macular degeneration and cataract formation. A 2019 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that participants who consumed higher amounts of omega-3s demonstrated significantly reduced oxidative damage in their retinal tissues. This strongly suggests that your regular dose of flaxseed could quite literally help your eyes age more gracefully, staying bright, hydrated, and resilient even through decades of constant use. Moving on to your brain, the organ that thrives on healthy fats just as much as your eyes do. The ALA and lignans in flax seeds are natural protectors against both chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, two of the core drivers of brain aging. These compounds help maintain the necessary flexibility of your brain cell membranes, allowing neurons to communicate smoothly and efficiently. Lignans, in particular, may help preserve memory function and cognitive sharpness. Furthermore, the vitamin E content provides yet another protective layer by preventing the oxidation of fatty acids within neural tissue. A 2022 study published in JAMA indicated that adequate vitamin E intake was associated with slower cognitive decline and better performance on memory and verbal fluency tests among older adults. Add flax seeds' potent omega-3s to that mix, and you have a perfect natural source of neuroprotection, all conveniently delivered in a single spoonful of seeds. 4. Chia seeds, the omega-3 powerhouse. And now let's conclude this essential list with a seed so incredibly tiny, it's almost invisible, but whose benefits are undeniably huge: the chia seed. Chia seeds may appear simple, but inside each one is a world of nutrients that your eyes and brain are quietly craving. For centuries, ancient civilizations like the Aztecs and Mayans prized them for their ability to provide strength and endurance. Today, science confirms what tradition always knew. These little black seeds deliver the kind of deep nourishment that helps protect your sight, strengthen your memory, and support a calmer, clearer mind. Have you ever underestimated the power of being consistent with small habits? This is where most people make a small but crucial mistake. They may try chia seeds once or twice, expecting an immediate dramatic change. But the real lasting transformation only happens with regularity, because the nutrients in chia work by gradually building your body's critical reserves of essential fats and antioxidants. Scientifically, chia seeds are one of the single richest plant-based sources of alpha-linolenic acid ALA, that essential omega-3 fatty acid. Once you consume them, your body actively converts a portion of the ALA into DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, the very nutrient that forms a major structural component of the retina and the brain's crucial gray matter. The human brain is about 60% fat, and DHA makes up a large portion of that structure. It is what keeps your neurons communicating smoothly and your visual cells functioning sharply. Numerous studies have linked a higher intake of omega-3s to better visual acuity and improved overall cognitive performance. Simply put, these healthy fats are not merely nutrients. They are the literal building blocks of clear vision and sharp thinking. So what do chia seeds specifically do for your eyes? DHA helps maintain the integrity of the photoreceptor cell membranes, the light-sensing cells in your retina that allow you to perceive color, contrast, and movement. Without sufficient DHA, these cells can become fragile and less efficient, which can lead to visual fatigue or blurriness over time. Chia seeds also provide antioxidants like zeaxanthin, which act as natural filters against blue light and oxidative stress, a fast-growing concern in our modern digital world. Regular intake can help reduce dryness, nourish the tear film, and protect against early macular degeneration. Think of this as a form of long-term insurance for your sight that is natural, gentle, and profoundly effective. As for your brain, the omega-3s are equally transformative. They enhance neuroplasticity, or the brain's innate ability to form new pathways and learn new skills. They support nerve signaling, improve the processes of memory formation, and even boost focus, which is particularly beneficial for older adults. And thanks to their powerful anti-inflammatory effects, they help to stabilize mood and reduce cognitive fatigue. A 2020 study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that adults who consumed more ALA-rich foods, such as chia and flax seeds, showed better memory and executive function alongside improved emotional balance. Essentially, these small seeds help your brain stay flexible, energized, and emotionally steady. How do you best use them for maximum benefit? It's beautifully simple. For maximum nutrient absorption, I recommend soaking them in water or milk for about 10 to 15 minutes until they form a gel. This dramatically improves their digestibility and makes their precious omega-3s much more bioavailable to your body. You can also blend them into chia pudding, a creamy omega-rich snack that works wonderfully as a breakfast or dessert. Remember, the secret to nourishment isn't speed, it's steadiness. What small, steady change will you make starting tonight?